Let's see how to find a parabola's equation using the intercept form, which is also known as the root-factored form. And to do that, we're going to be working through two examples, the first of which we can see on the screen here. And the second example, well, that's on the next slide, but do make sure to watch it because it deals with a bit of a special case that you need to know. Back to this first example, we're told, given y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, we need to find the coefficients a, b, and c. And we have a sketch of a parabola underneath here. And so when we're told to find a, b, and c, we're essentially being told to find this parabola's equation in its standard form, which is what I'm hovering under right now. And an important thing to notice here when looking at the parabola that's given to us is that we are told the values of x at which this parabola cuts the x-axis. Those are known as the x-intercepts, or also known as the roots. And we're also given the coordinates of another point through which the parabola passes. And when we're given this type of information, we can make use of the intercept form to find the parabola's equation, which looks like this. Y equals to a times, in parentheses, x minus p times x minus q. And I'll go ahead and box that. Do make a note of this. This is the intercept form of a parabola's equation, also known as the root-factored form. And looking at this result, the p and the q that we have inside these pairs of parentheses are nothing more than the values of x at which the parabola crosses the x-axis. And so if I were to illustrate that in the upper left-hand corner here, say I've got a parabola looking something like this, which crosses the x-axis at p and at q, then I could seek to find this parabola's equation using this result. Indeed, all we'd have to do is replace the p and the q we have inside these parentheses by the values of x at which the curve crosses the x-axis. And so that's what it would look like if the leading coefficient a was positive, and if the leading coefficient a was negative, it would look something like this. There we go. Again, we'd have p and q, and in that case, it's negative, or rather, a is negative. Okay, back to this first example. Let's see how we can use this to find this parabola's equation. And so I'll quickly write solution here. Solution, there we go. And here's the whole idea. Since we're told where this parabola crosses the x-axis, indeed it crosses it at x equals to -1, as well as at x equals to 6, we can go ahead and copy this result here. And in fact, I'll quickly do that. We can copy y equals to a times, in parentheses, x minus p times x minus q, and replace the p that we see here by -1, and the q that we have here in this formula by 6. And so doing so would lead to a times, in parentheses, x minus -1 times x minus 6. And in this first pair of parentheses, we have x minus -1, which turns into x plus 1. So we could go one step further here and write y equals to a times, in parentheses, x plus 1 times x minus 6. And in fact, I'll go ahead and box that first result. There we go. Okay, now that we've made use of the intercept form to write our parabola's equation like this, all we have to find now is the value of the leading coefficient a. And for that, we'll need another point through which the parabola passes. And that's exactly why we're given this point here on the parabola. Indeed, we're told that this parabola passes through the point with coordinates 7, 16. And let me be clear here, the only purpose of this point in an exam is for us to find the value of the leading coefficient a. And let me show you how. I'll just carry on with my working right here. And in fact, I'll copy that last result. So we had y equals to a times, in parentheses, x plus 1 times x minus 6. And now I'll say that we'll use the point with coordinates 7, 16. Now, the fact that this parabola passes through this point tells us that if we were to replace the x's we have inside this parabola's equation by 7, then the output we get, in other words, the y-coordinate we get, has to be equal to 16. And using that fact, we can quickly come up with an equation to find a. Indeed, replacing each of the two x's we have by 7 and the y on the left-hand side by 16, our equation becomes 16 equals to a times, in parentheses, 7 plus 1, times, in parentheses, 7 minus 6. I carry on, and that becomes 16 equals to 7 plus 1, which is 8, times 7 minus 6, which is 1. Now, on the right-hand side here, we have a times 8 times 1, which is just 8 times a. So this is 16 equals to 8a. And finally, since this 8 is multiplying a, to get rid of that 8, all we have to do is divide both sides of this equation by 8. So on the left-hand side, we have 16 divided by 8, which is 2. And on the right-hand side, of course, we have 8a divided by 8, which is a. So 2 equals to a, in other words, a equals to 2. And we now have the value of the leading coefficient a. And so combining this result alongside the one we had previously using the intercept form, we can now state, and in fact I'll do that up here, that this parabola's equation in intercept form is y equals to 2 times, in parentheses, x plus 1 times x minus 6. And that's this parabola's equation in intercept form. And in fact, I'll label that. That's the intercept form of this parabola's equation. And I should say, at times in exams, that's all we'll be asked for. But in this question, remember, we were told to find the values of a, b, and c for this parabola's equation written in standard form. So let's see how to get from this intercept form of the equation to the standard or general form of the equation. Well, for that, all we actually have to do is expand these two pairs of parentheses, as well as distribute the 2 across them. And of course, we'll have to gather any like terms and simplify as much as possible. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll take care of the 2 last, so I'll start by distributing this first pair of parentheses across the second one. So let's go ahead. We have x times x, which is x squared, minus x times 6, so that's minus 6x, plus 1 times x, so that's just plus x. And finally, we have plus here and minus here, so minus 1 times 6, in other words, minus 6. Now that quickly turns into 2 times, in parentheses, x squared minus 5x minus 6. And finally, to reach this parabola's equation in standard form, all we have to do is distribute the 2 across this pair of parentheses, which leads to y equals to 2x squared minus 2 times 5x, so that's minus 10x, minus 2 times 6, which is 12. And we're done. We've now found this parabola's equation in standard form. And in fact, I'll label that as well. That's the standard, also known as the general, so I'll write that as well, standard or general form of this parabola's equation. And I suppose we could even finish by saying that a is therefore equal to 2, b is equal to negative 10, and c is equal to negative 12. And there we go. So as we can see, provided we have a parabola's x-intercepts, as well as the coordinates of another point through which the parabola passes through, we can find its equation in intercept form, also known as root factored form, which is what we boxed over here. And to get from there to the standard or general form, which we boxed down here, all we had to do is distribute or expand and simplify. And that's the whole idea. Now let's look at a second example, which is a bit of a special case in which we're not given a point through which the parabola passes. So we're not given a point equivalent to the one I'm hovering under right now. Here it is. In this second example, I even wrote, this is a special case which corresponds to the leading coefficient a being equal to 1. And quite typically, the question may look something like this. Given y equals to x squared plus bx plus c, find b and c. And of course, we can clearly see that we're given a parabola drawn here, and we can also see that we're given the 2 values of x at which this parabola crosses the x-axis, those being 2 and 5. Now, to make it clear that we're dealing with a special case here, let me quickly remind you that in standard or general form, a parabola's equation looks like this. Y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. And comparing this equation to the one that's given to us here, x squared plus bx plus c, hopefully you'll notice that, well, there's no a multiplying the x squared. And what that means is that a is technically given to us. Indeed, when no a is written in front of x squared here, it means that a is equal to 1. So although we don't write it, when we read this equation, we need to be thinking of this as y equals to 1 times x squared plus bx plus c. Which is why I wrote a equals to 1 right here. And here's the catch. Since we therefore know that a is equal to 1, we won't need another point through which the parabola passes to find it. which explains why the only information that's given to us in this question are the values of x at which the parabola crosses the x-axis. In other words, in this case, the intercept form y equals to a times x minus p times x minus q simply reduces to y equals to x minus p times x minus q. Indeed, since a equals to 1, we just have 1 times x minus p times x minus q, and we don't bother writing 1 here. Okay, with this result in mind, let's go ahead and find this parabola's equation and therefore find the values of b and c. And here we go. I'll quickly write solution here. There we go. Now, since we know the two values of x at which this parabola crosses the x-axis, indeed we have x equals to 2 and x equals to 5, and since we know that a is equal to 1, remember we have 1x squared, we can go ahead and make use of the intercept form. In fact, in a test, I would suggest writing it like this. We know that y equals to a times x minus p times x minus q, and I'd write something like this with a equals to 1. So we know that this parabola's equation looks like y equals to x minus p times x minus q. Now replacing the p we have here by 2, as well as the q we have in the second pair of parentheses by 5, this quickly becomes, and I'll write it right here, y equals to, in parentheses, x minus 2 times, in parentheses, x minus 5. Where, to be clear, the 2 that we have here and the 5 that we have here are the two values of x that were given to us in the question. And as such, we've now written this parabola's equation in intercept form, and in fact, I'll label that right here. That's the intercept form of this parabola's equation. Now, just as we had seen in the previous example, to get from the intercept form to the standard form, all we have to do is expand or distribute these two pairs of parentheses. So let's go ahead. We can go ahead and state that y is equal to, well, let's see, we'll have x times x, which is x squared, minus x times 5, so that's minus 5x, minus 2 times x, so minus 2x, and finally, since we have a minus in both of these pairs of parentheses, we'll have a plus 2 times 5, in other words, plus 10. Finally, gathering these two middle terms here, negative 5x minus 2x, we can state that this parabola's equation in standard or general form is y equals to x squared minus 7x plus 10. And we're done. We now have this parabola's equation in standard form. So I'll quickly label that as well, standard form. And of course, to quickly answer the question where we had to find b and c, all we have to do is look at the x coefficient as well as the constant term at the end. And that doesn't take us long looking at our equation here. We quickly see that b is equal to negative 7 and c is equal to 10. So I could write that underneath here, b is equal to negative 7 and c is equal to 10. And we're done. Thanks to these two examples, we now know how to find a parabola's equation using its x-intercepts and the intercept form. And that's it for this tutorial.